she couldn't have it done.
The nation, everyone knows it. My relatives who lost me now know where I am. I just hope I don't owe them any money.
You know, it's surprising when you think one coach here has only been at 2 schools, North Carolina and the Jayhawks, and the other coach, he's been to, I think, 4 high schools, 8 colleges, and 2 foreign countries.
Coached pro ball in Qatar over in the Middle East, Persian Gulf. Former assistant under Nolan Richardson at Tulsa and at Arkansas.
Should feel at home then, playing in the pyramid.
Yeah, there's no sand around here right now. It's water they're worried about. The Mississippi is rising. Second personal on Fairley sends Pollard to the line. 4th team foul on Jackson State. Into the game for Jackson State comes Jermaine Harden, number 30, a senior from Jackson, Mississippi. Going to school in his hometown. Fairley goes to the bench. Pollard with a miss on his first try, shooting 2.
Just took a shot, a practice shot after it. Nice extension on his foul shot. Caught the front of the rim last time.
Shoots 73% from there, but misses in both.
He over-adjusted. He caught the back of the rim on the second shot.
Pulliam quickly down court for the Tigers. Outside for Hall. Hall and Draper the backcourt. Ricardo Draper taking over from Marino Walker, gone for the year with a knee injury. Draper, who had started 8 games early in the season, reclaimed the starting spot with the injury. Missed by Draper with the side of the backboard. A steal back, and it's knocked out of bounds. It'll be Jackson State ball. Haas knocked it out of bounds. Good effort by the Tigers here.
Watch the quick hands on Doug Williams here from the Tigers. There's the quick hands right there. Then an automatic putback, but didn't get it that time.
Then Haas picked up the personal on the play. His first. This is Hall. Hall in the lane. He misses. Pollard comes away with it.
Hall tried an MJ and Michael Jordan.
Vaughn back outside for Haas. Pollard, short jumper off the back line and rebounded by the Tigers. Brought down by Jermaine Harden.
Boy, they push the ball immediately. It takes them about 4 seconds to get down court.
Harden's turnaround won't go, and LaFrance has it.
Difference is that Jackson State Tigers get no second shots.
Vaughn trying to sneak in for the layup, missed it. Rebounded by Harden. Harden, good size, 6'9" senior from Jackson. This is Pulliam. Pulliam with 2 big men to swat it away. Pollard got a hand on it. And Draper hits for 3. Ricardo Draper.
That's his second 3. They got to play up tighter on him.
We're tied at 7. 6 points for Draper. The French forcing it up and drew the foul.
Jayhawks are missing a lot of easy shots. That happens when you're trying to knock a team out early, Tim. When you got a team you know you're better than, they're 40, 50 points better than this club. You try to knock them out the first 5 minutes, and by trying to go so fast, you can miss easy shots. They missed about 3 or 4 easy shots already.
Harden picks up his first personal. B.J. Williams checks in for Kansas, number 22. The number 32, Terry Bradley, you saw come in for Jackson State. 6-foot sophomore from Lucedale, Mississippi. LaFrance at the line. Won't go for him. Jayhawks a little cold at the free throw line.
LaFrance shoots 76%. He should make the second one automatically. At that percentage.
Pollard, a good percentage shooter, too. Missed his first 2 attempts. He gets 1 of 2. LaFrance, a 1-point lead for the Jayhawks. 15:30 to go from the Pyramid in Memphis, Kansas by 1. Out of our college football studio and onto the basketball floor is our Craig James. Craig?
Yeah, meteorologist, too. Hey, inside, everybody's enjoying the basketball game right now. But outside, some of the officials are concerned about flooding. They've placed sandbags along the riverbank of the Mississippi River. What they're trying to do is make sure that if it does rise to 44 feet, that they have protection. Right now, the river level is at 41.5 feet. They're expecting another 2 to 3 inches of rain over the next couple of days, but they do not foresee there being any problems. So, fellas, you'll be dry. I have your shoes if it does get wet.
Thanks a lot, Craig. I guess I can take my galoshes off then. This is Jackson State in blue underneath. That is Harden. And Jackson in the lead by a point, 9-8. They opened with a three-pointer and have the second lead of the game with 15:09 to go first half. The French from Haas, and it's stolen away from him. Taken right out of his hands by Ricardo Draper.
Draper's having an outstanding game offensively and defensively.
This is Harden, and the big man bothered there by Pierce missed it. Kept by the Tigers. Got Williams for three.
Williams is not supposed to shoot from out there. They nickname him the Undertaker.
6'4" junior from Clinton, Mississippi. 12-8, Tigers lead. And a near steal again by Jackson State. LaFrance recovers. Juan sets it up. And that is Jared Haas.
When you have a problem, put the ball in the senior's hands.
Three-pointer from Haas. Closes the gap to one. Jackson by a point, 12-11. Terry Bradley. Bradley in the backcourt. Pulliam directing traffic. Pulliam's not been a factor so far, but they've been getting good effort from Draper and Williams and Harden off the bench.
Well, Pierce originally did a good job on him.
This is Williams for three, with 2 on the shot clock. Off the front iron, Pierce rebound. Pierce, good recovery by LaFrance.
Very, very good hands by LaFrance that time. That was not a good pass by Pierce.
8 points for LaFrance. And Kansas by 1, 13-12, and a steal there. Pass again. Runs through Draper, and Draper moving will get the call.
I think that's going to be a 2-shot foul.
First personal on Ricardo Draper.
Here he comes driving hard on the baseline. Real hard contact, hard foul. He's going to go for a deuce from the charity stripe.
Jared Haas shoots 71% from the line, the senior from South Lake Tahoe, California.
Been playing all year with a stress fracture in the wrist.
You can see that little wristband he wears. That's all the protection he has on it. And has at least not owned up to any pain shooting with that wrist all season long. He's not the kind of guy who does own up to pain.
No, he lives with pain and plays with pain.
Kansas by 3, 15-12. 5 points for Haas. Thomas into the lineup now for Kansas. Number 12, Billy Thomas, a junior from Shreveport, Louisiana.
They have kept Pulliam in the drought, but if Pulliam starts to score, they might create some problems.
Kansas on a 7-0 run here, taking the lead by 3. Pulliam's been a non-factor, no points for him so far, and he's their star. You know that's not going to remain the way it is.
Well, in the postseason tournament, in the 3 games, he had double-doubles every game.
Jermaine Harden driving the baseline. Looked like he got stepped on. He coughed up the ball, and the turnover is their 4th.
I'm surprised Kansas didn't put pressure further up in the court to try to create TOs. Well, what the Jayhawks are learning, you can't put the ball anywhere near. This team is extremely quick.
TJ Q in the lineup for Kansas as well, number 32, the sophomore from Omaha. Vaughn is short. And it is stuffed by Tyrone Moten, the junior from Benton, Mississippi. Andy Stoglin is substituting much more than he normally would. Kansas running all of their great bench onto the floor, and Stoglin keeping pace. He's getting some good play from the bench.
He also got away with 1 step that time on that tomahawk dunk.
This is Thomas. He's short, and a foul called underneath.
Here's the last breakaway by Jackson State. They released early. Nice pass towards the basket the way it should be thrown. Now, I think it was 1-2 with an extra step, but did just like a quarterback.
Nice pass from Harden to Moten. Andy Stoglin working his bench well here, knowing that he's going to have a wave of Jayhawks coming at him. Kansas, mindful of last year's Kentucky championship team and the great bench strength that they have.
He's a graduate of El Paso. He played under the Bear. Haskins.
Moten driving. Hard contact. Ball wouldn't drop for him, but he'll head to the line. Tyrone Moten, a junior college transfer, a junior from Benton, Mississippi, averaging 4.2 a game.
Has a very quick first step, which allowed him to break free that time. They nicknamed him Bam Bam. I don't know why.
Well, maybe we just saw a sample there.
He bounced on the floor and got right up like a rubber ball.
11:54 to go first half, and the Tigers of Jackson State very much in the ball game at this point. Down by a point. Moten misses his first. Harden apparently an injured ankle. We saw him get stepped on as he drove the baseline. They say he'll be back. Moten hits 1 of 2, and we're tied at 15. 11:54 to go. Number 1 against number 16 in Memphis. Tim Ryan and Al McGuire back here in Memphis. We're tied at 15, nearly halfway through the first half. I'd call that a mild surprise.
Yes, early. I thought that Kansas would play up court more, try to create turnovers and bring the baseline of the Tigers up higher. But their hands are so quick, and Jackson State, Tim, has no fear because they played about 8-9 heavyweight teams. We'll show them later on our graphs here early in the season. They lost to the 8-9 teams, by the way.
Tied at 15. Kansas ball. They're in white. Pollard from Vaughn, and he is fouled.
Montgomery got a piece of him, I think.
Number 50, a junior from Marion, Arkansas, into the game now. Andy Stogden working his bench here, trying to keep pace with that bench of Kansas. Montgomery fouling Pollard. Pollard missed his first 2 free throw attempts earlier in this first half.
Look at those chops. Well, he's in Elvis Presley land anyway.
Yeah, they asked him if he was going to go visit. He said, no, my fiance Mindy Camp will, but he said, I was never much of an Elvis fan. And he misses another one. 3 in a row missed by Pollard from
He was
behind.
too young for Elvis.
Oh, now this is the all-Pollard team. Kansas fans are used to seeing him with a number of looks. And he can give you 5 looks and form his own unit. I think he looks like Matt Dillon in that first shot up in the left-hand corner there. Things have changed for Pollard. He's a little taller than Matt.
Well, he keeps the team loose. Every team has a comedian. He's the comedian that plays hard and plays quite well.
And Pollard comes up with a loose ball as it's knocked away from Moten. Back comes Kansas. Thomas.
That should be the start of the end. Let's see what happens.
Billy Thomas puts him up by 4. He shoots from 3 at 42%, so he's always dangerous out there. Fidel Woods also in the lineup. Stogden going deep in his bench here in the early going. That is blocked by Vaughn with a great leap, stopping the shot from Michael Hall. Vaughn feeding the corner, and Thomas short this time. Pollard keeps it alive.
Nice tap pass by Pollard that time to Vaughn.
Pass inside for Pollard, and reaching over was Montgomery, or make it Woods, Fidel Woods. His first personal, the sophomore from Natchez, Mississippi.
Woods, you cannot play in back of Pollard. You have to either play one thigh or the other thigh. He's too much in back of him.
Kansas shooting in a 1-and-1 now. 18 foul for Jackson State, and Stogden takes out 3, sends in 3 fresh sets of legs for the Tigers of Jackson State. Four points now for Pollard, and a 5-point Kansas lead.
You know, interesting where Robinson coming in for Jock. Robinson should be a star in the postseason tournament, the NCAA tournament, because of having those 11 games early in the year and learned how to run the show while Jock was healing.
Michael Hall gets a rest. Ricardo Draper returns for Jackson State. Williams down in the corner. Sorrell Valentine, 0-0 in the lineup for the Tigers. Pass for LaFrentz, and LaFrentz
followed by Pollard. That was offensive interference. The coach is right.
Yeah, they wanted basket interference. Didn't get it.
The ball was still inside the cylinder when Pollard put his hand on it.
I don't think Pollard ever actually got his hand on it, but he certainly hit the rim enough to knock it in. And there's a three-pointer from Pulliam. Now first points.
That should get him going. He was on the drought. I think he was a little bit afraid of Kansas. Just couldn't get into his game.
22-18. Jayhawks by 4. LaFrance. Little spin move. Won't drop for him.
Yeah. Pierce cleared out with his inside arm, his left arm. He pushed underneath. Good call by the Zebras.
Paul Pierce of Kansas picks up his first 15 foul against the Jayhawks. 9:52 to go, 4-point margin. Kansas on top. Valentine and Pulliam in the backcourt now for Jackson State. Andy Stoglin has used virtually everybody in his lineup here in this first half.
Defensively, Kansas overplaying man-to-man. A little bit vulnerable in the back door.
Pulliam hits for three.
Once you get out of the gate, Tim, a scorer like that, a scorer is a scorer. He was on the snide, and once they let him go, he's going to be a problem from now on.
6 points for Pulliam. Interception on the long pass. Valentine trying to keep it in, and it's knocked out, I believe, by the Jayhawks.
Yeah, Haas made a dive for it, sacrificed his body, caught a piece of it.
Valentine unable to handle that pass, so the Tigers get a bit of a break. 1-point game, 9:12 to go, first half. This is Williams, number 24. Valentine, who wears a sock on one leg and not on the other.
Well, Pulliam here has high socks.
Ricardo Draper. Jacksonville has now hit 5 out of 6 from three-point range, and now it's 5 out of 7 as Draper well off the mark.
Well, that was way past the NBA range. Nice drive.
Robertson driving. Ryan Robertson, the sophomore from St. Charles, Missouri.
That was a runner. He kept his eye in the basket. Followed through.
24-21 Kansas. And Williams, an air ball. Popped up to Pierce, and Pierce a battle for it there with Draper, and they'll call Draper on the foul. His second personal.
Here's where Robinson drives, keeps his eye up, floats, hits a runner. Finger roll.
9th team foul.
Now inside here, this is earlier in the game where the foul was committed underneath. Good call. A little bit of an overreaction, looking for an Emmy.
22nd timeout called by Jackson State, their first take in this half. While you're rocking on the road to the Final Four, join us on the Superhighway with CBS Sports Online. You'll find breaking news, scores, highlights, and other great stuff at cbs.sportsline.com. Roy Williams, a little look of concern on his face. A 3-point margin, his team in front. 8:19 to go first half. And number 16, Jackson State's Tigers, that came in under 500 with a 14-15 record and giving the Jayhawks a battle so far. Pierce's first point of this half.
He's coming off a dynamite game in the championship of the conference. He had 30 points. It was the MVP of the tournament.
Gets a pair to 5-point lead Kansas.
A little bit more pressure, a little further up court now. Jackson State is spreading them out, trying to make it a one-on-one game.
Pulliam picks up his second personal on the charge.
Starting to undress, starting to get into the ball game. That's a big man. Played for the Harlem Globetrotters also.
Yes, he did. Andy Stoglin.
There's Matt Doherty. Got a quick pop of him there. He should have a head coaching job any place in the country. He's definitely a keeper. Played for Dean Smith.
Under the 8-minute mark, we go first half. Jayhawks by 5. This is Jock Vaughn, watched by Valentine. Pass into traffic. Good pass for Pierce.
That was goaltending by Pulliam.
4 points for Pierce, and Kansas widens it to 7-point lead. Timeout called, 7:46 to go, first half.
Jayhawks up by 7. We're back in Memphis here. Here's the last play. Pierce goes in, puts the ball up, and Trent gets it on the way down. A little bit controversial, but I believe it is on the way down. There's the ball up, and it's on the way down. Good call by the referees.
So Pulliam charged with the goaltending, and the basket counts for the 7-point Kansas lead. They're shooting at 52.9% from the field. The Jayhawks. Jackson State at 36.8.
See how wide they keep the court spread out, the Tigers. Very clever coaching. Again, trying to make it a one-on-one ball game. Their shot selection is a little bit under suspect.
Joseph McKinney in the lineup now, number 23, a junior from Crystal Springs, Mississippi. His first appearance as Andy Stodlin has used all of his bench here with just one player yet to appear.
Came down with the ball. The clock became a factor. Then it was down to 3 seconds. One thing you got to remember in college, the college ball player cannot manage the shot clock. The pros manage it because they're doing it almost every other night. The colleges, once it gets under 10 seconds, they usually put up a Hail Mary or create a turnover like that time.
7 turnovers now by Jackson State. Pollard, Williams. DJ Williams, number 22 in for Kansas. Vaughn, LaFrentz, and half the lineup for the Jayhawks.
They want to pump it down low to Pollard. There it is.
Pollard packed underneath, and it'll be McKinney.
Nice thinking shot that time. Pollard was too low. Now Pollard has a problem getting the ball. They're double teaming him when he gets him down too low. Watch how many guys. Get a nice little pick that time for pass. Just picking the rest of the guys. But here's a good move. He's under. He knows he's in Tap City. He can't get out. So he looks for the 2-shot foul and got it.
Jackson State has only one starter on the floor at the moment. That is Doug Williams. McKinney picking up his first personal on the foul against Pollard.
I think 7 has been the largest lead of the game. Is that right, Tim?
Yeah, they're now at 8 with that free throw from Pollard. Going for his second as he's finding his range, having missed his first 3 tries from the charity stripe. 30-21. Kansas the lead, and again, Stodlin still with just one of his. Now he's returned Hall, so 2 starters on the floor. Michael Hall and Doug Williams. Hall number 5, Williams number 24. Tyrone Moten, Joe McKinney, and Fidel Woods, the front line.
Kansas doesn't give you a free shot. Now and then you'll catch them doubling down from the weak side. But outside that, they play tough man-to-man.
Hall's 3-point try is short.
Lay off Williams. He doesn't shoot from the outside.
Garrett Haas watched by Moten.
LaFrance is in good position underneath. It should be a deuce.
Jump ball. Beautiful block there by Fidel Woods, 6'7" sophomore from Natchez, Mississippi.
The arrow favors the Jayhawks, so they get the ball back. Nice move inside, down low. Got inside position. Nice defensive skying. Is he from another angle? LaFrance tries to power through.
Kansas with possession from the arrow. They're doing a little cleanup there on some sweat that hit the floor around the free throw line. 6:36 to go, first half. 9-point Kansas lead, their widest margin. Alley-oop. Perfect. Vaughn for LaFrance.
Tigers need a basket here, Big Tim. Otherwise, the floodgates will start opening.
32-21. Hall, near steal, recovers.
Oh, he came out of that off his knee. Tightrope the baseline. Clock down to 6. Up goes the Hail Mary.
Williams won't go for him. Work the rim, and it comes off in the hands of the Jayhawks, and Pierce is fouled as he goes up. That'll be Moten picking it up, number 22.
Nice touch pass and going down. Pierce made a good decision, tried to come in the back door and use the rim as part of his defense.
First personal on Tyrone Moten. DJ Williams goes out. Jared Haas returns for Kansas. Pierce at the line with 4 points. Paul Pierce, 30 points against Missouri in the tournament championship game of the Big 12.
Bob Huggins calls him the best power forward in the country. (33-21), Kansas lead over Jackson State here in the first half. Inexorably, the #1 team in the country has asserted itself. Pass for Pierce in the corner. His 3 is short. And it'll be Woods picking up the foul, going up for that rebound. For the first time in the game, they've showed a 2-3 zone the last time down, the Jayhawks. Let's see if they stay in it.
Check it, it's LaFrentz. LaFrentz gets the foul as he and Woods went up together. 16 foul, first personal on Rafe LaFrentz. .5:27 to go in this first half. Jackson opened the scoring in the game with a 3-pointer and kept it close until about the 10-minute mark. Kansas since then has opened it up, 33-21. Hall, short jumper, good.
Got a lot of help from a tough screen that time.
Pierce trying to get through 3 defenders. Picked up the foul. Could have been any one of 3, but it's Woods who gets it. His second in a row. Fidel Woods sending Pierce to the line.
Big thing for the Tigers there is they're 5 for 8 from three-point land.
Indeed, and Kansas shooting the ball well from the floor.
None of the Tigers are in trouble because they've shotgunned. They've played about 10 men already, so they shotgun their fouls.
Pierce gets 1, and it is 34-23. With 5 minutes and 4 seconds remaining here in this first half. So Kansas taking charge here as we go under the 5-minute mark. 3-point try by McKinney missing. Kansas rebounding. They've dominated on the boards. Thomas for 3. Back outside, Jock Bond.
Jock resets, runs the show. He's the coach on the floor. Nice curl turn by Thomas then.
Billy Thomas. 5 points for him.
This is why they're #1. There's no weak spot on their team. They become more physical this year than last year. If they stay mentally tough, they're going to be difficult to beat.
#1 ranked team in the country. #1 seed here in Memphis.
Jock's mad at himself, but he doesn't think he committed a foul. He's also an academic All-American along with
Jared Haas. Vaughn and Haas both expected to be on the all-academic team again this year. LaFrentz picks up the foul, and that sends Hall to the line. Michael Hall, a junior from Hattiesburg. Pulliam back into the lineup for Jackson State. Well, our next game here in Memphis will feature Purdue and Rhode Island, 8 against 9. That should be a dandy. And then this evening, Maryland starts the action against College of Charleston. Then it's Arizona and South Alabama.
Purdue, Rhode Island should be a white knuckler.
Vaughn backs his way in now into the paint, driving. Missed the layup. And the Tigers come up with it. Hall up for Pulliam. Pulliam pulls up and nails it.
Did that thing bounce around before it went in?
8 points for Trent Pulliam. Steal. Nice interception. Williams knocking it loose.
Houdini hands.
That'll be short. An air ball from Pulliam.
Well, Pulliam, you said he had 8 or 9 points. He's put up 3 air balls and he drained the other shots that he's taken.
And Williams picks up the foul underneath the Kansas basket. Doug Williams, number 24. Stockland didn't like that call. Andy Stockland, we mentioned Coach Pro Ball in Qatar and did play for the Harlem Globetrotters. Has had a checkered career. An assistant under Nolan Richardson at Tulsa and Arkansas. And gotta like his thinking about playing such a tough schedule. They went 2-10 this season, 2-10 to start the year because they played the likes of Arkansas and Memphis and Arizona and UCLA and Arizona State, New Mexico. But they finished well, 9-1.
Ryan has 2 shots here because they're in the bonus. That means that the Tigers have committed to 10 personal fouls.
There's a look at, they got waxed by Arkansas to open the season. Did a little better against some of those other teams with the exception of Arizona. But Stockland's feeling, hey, let's play them tough, and if we get into the big dance, well, we won't be intimidated. And for a while, they weren't. 3:29 to go. Kansas, 39-26. Tim Ryan, Al McGuire were at the Pyramid in Memphis. Jackson State's Tigers hung tough until about the midway part of this first half. Coming up at halftime on Pennzoil at the Half, Pat O'Brien and Clark Kellogg will get you updated on all the tournament news, all the scores and highlights, plus a live look at all the action going on around the NCAA tournament, all coming up at Pennzoil at the Half. And we are in Memphis with 3:22 to go. Kansas has opened the lead 39-26.
Went to a 2-3 zone, tried to force him to shoot from the outside and keep the ball away from Pulliam.
This is Hall, his pull-up. Won't go for him. Good follow. Good job. Yeah, that is Jermaine Harden, number 30, the senior from Jackson. Kansas has dominated on the boards, 20 rebounds to 9 so far here in the first half.
Let's see if they stay in the zone again. No, they're going man-to-man this time down, showing another face each time down. It's up to the Tigers to analyze the defense first, then go to action.
All for Pulliam, and Pulliam won't go for him. They're 0 for 7 in their last 7 tries from 3-point range. Ryan Robertson inside LaFrentz. Pulled down by Harden.
That'll be a 1-on-1 down the other end. I think that's the 8th foul committed by the Jayhawks.
And Pierce picks it up. 8th team foul is correct. 1-on-1 for Harden. Pulliam, Harden. Tyrone Moten. Michael Hall. And Williams. They line up for Jackson State. Pierce goes out for Kansas.
Roy wants to go in. Roy Williams wants to go in at halftime, release a double-digit lead.
Pass Pollard, Robertson, Vaughn, and LaFrentz for the Jayhawks.
They'll put the 2 big guys down in the blocks now and punch it into them.
And the foul away from the ball
on Pollard.
Scott Pollard, we were saying earlier, the reporter asked him if he was going to go over to Graceland, and he said, I wasn't much of an Elvis fan. He said, since I'm a social studies major, if I went there, it would be for historical purposes only.
They say today he has his nails are blue. There they are. They're blue. They look green on the TV monitor here, but they're blue.
Jayhawk blue, no doubt.
Or maybe he's thinking of St. Patrick's Day Monday.
Possible. He does change the colors. Changes a lot of things. Keeps himself interesting.
Well, he keeps the team loose.
Michael Hall, 5 points for him.
Break it down from 13 to 9. That will allow something for Roy to jump on at halftime.
Ryan Robertson, lots of room for three and nails it. Smooth shoots those at 39%, and he's got 7 points. Pulliam controlling. Wow. Pulliam with a fancy move, but missed the shot.
He cuffed the ball, which is illegal.
Vaughn. Ball batted sky high here, and a foul call.
You know, the Kansas fans out there, you got to understand, the neutral fans always root for the underdog, so they're not picking on Kansas. Here comes Jock Vaughn in, gives a nice disco fake there. Got fouled big time.
Tyrone Moten over the top, number 22. His second. 12-point Kansas lead with Vaughn at the line. Back in for the Tigers comes Terry Bradley. 6-foot sophomore from Lucedale, Mississippi.
Jock Vaughn shoots over 80%.
That's his first point.
It doesn't bother him if he scores or doesn't score. The only thing he's interested in is winning and getting a ring.
Winning and poetry.
Poetry, yeah.
Those are his two favorite things.
I think he likes Robert Frost, I think. And he digs into his normal ritual. Takes about 7 seconds. Focuses. Misses.
1:35 to go. 43-31. Kansas lead here in the first half.
I'd like to tell Jackson to melt the clock a little bit, but they won't. Jackson State just keeps going to score. Happy birthday.
DeCarto Draper, the junior from Grand Rapids, Michigan. He's got 8 points.
2-for-1 possessions here for Kansas State. They put it up soon. That's goaltending.
And that's Pulliam again. He can jump at both times. It's been goaltending.
Do you believe in miracles? Just watch this shot. All those giant trees around him. Just puts up it all net. He's still in shock.
Under a minute we go in the first half. Michael Hall almost copped it up. Pulliam maintains possession, and then it goes off LaFrentz. It'll be Tigers' ball.
Nice thinking play that time by Trent. He was stung and boxed in. Played it off for Francis Lake.
Michael Hall bank shot. 7 points for Hall.
It's only about a 3-second spread.
LaFrentz spin move comes right back to him. And he banks it. Rafe LaFrentz.
What a tough shot. Used the glass.
12 points for him. He had 16 his last outing against Missouri in the Big 12 championship game.
Going to try to take it down to about 5 seconds, then go.
They're down to 5. Pulliam has it. He lets long a three-pointer, a long three-point try go.
He's not bashful, Tim.
Not bashful at all. So at halftime, Kansas 47, Jackson 34. Let's go to Pat O'Brien for Pennzoil at the half.
All right, Tim, thank you. Time running out at Auburn Hill. Let's go quickly to Gus Johnson and Quinn Buckner. Cincinnati leads Butler 37-17.
Levitt with the finish to end the half. 39-17 coming up. Pat O'Brien, Clark Kellogg will be along in the studio.
The NCAA tournament, 1997 style. 2 teams at halftime, 1 active game. It's halftime.
CBS Sports presents Pennzoil at the Half, sponsored by Pennzoil, the first motor oil to fully meet the new, tougher GF2 standard.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien in our New York studios, along with our man Clark Kellogg. Clark, nice to see you again. It's halftime. Kansas putting on a clinic showing why a 16 seed does not win this tournament, 47-34 in the first half. Roy Williams, is this the best Kansas team ever? A lot of people think so. And a little pressure on him to win it all this year. A good ball movement for Kansas early. Paul Pierce finding Scott Pollard for the slam.
They can play you any way you want to play. Transition in the half court, great spacing, great size, good pass and catch.
Tigers stay close in the early going, though. Tyrone Moten takes advantage of a nice outlet pass and puts it in with authority, but inside, Kansas just too strong for them.
Too big. Look at Rafe LaFrentz come and reject it. The first pass to the fast break. Here's Vaughn. Pull up 3 in transition. Let's go back.
Kansas big man having a field day. LaFrentz has 12 points. Pollard has 10. The Jayhawks shooting a shade under 50%.
Well, they do that all year long, and that's the one weakness they've had in the past. I don't think it's a weakness. You can't find a weakness with this team. Size, depth, coaching, everything you want in a championship.
All right, a 14-3 game going on. Also, another clinic by Cincinnati, 39-17 over 14th seeded Butler. Butler, the host team this year in Indianapolis school. Danny Fortson, talk about an inside game. He uses his power game underneath and gets 2 early on. Then Butler's T.J. Perry off the bench goes inside for those 2, which is nice and pretty. But Cincinnati, almost the same situation as Kansas.
Here you take a look at Darnell Burton. When Cincinnati is making the perimeter shot with their strength up front, they're really hard to handle.
And a lot of people always ask which Bearcat team will show up, and the good one showed up today.
Certainly has so far.
All right, let's go out to Winston-Salem. There's a game going on right now, and it's 32-31. California leads Princeton right now. Princeton's led most of this game. Let's go down to Bill Raftery and Sean McDonough at courtside.
20 seconds. California leads 32-31. The Bears trail 29-23 at the half. This is first round action in the East region. California Golden Bears, the number 5 seed with a record of 21-8 overall. They were picked to finish 6th in the preseason poll. Wound up finishing tied for 2nd behind UCLA in Ben Braun's first year as coach. Meanwhile, Princeton, the champions of the Ivy League, at 24-3 overall and 14-0 in Ivy League play.
And not too many people make them hurry up, but Cal has. They've tried some back cuts quickly on the shot clock. Now here's the turnover on the inbound, the pressure, something they didn't use in the first half. Some adjustments at halftime.
Winner of this game advances to meet the winner of the game between Villanova and LIU. Tonight here, it's North Carolina and Fairfield and Indiana versus Colorado. In that North Carolina game, Dean Smith will try to tie Adolph Rupp's all-time record for career coaching victories.
And still with his arm, Sean. This time a little flatter.
Grigsby double teamed and scored nonetheless.
Just elevates over. Great look. Retired his number. And it wasn't for prolific scoring at Cal. It was for what he stood for the program. Very impressive.
Out as one of the all-time great players in terms of points for rebounds, but they retired his number because of his perseverance and dedication. 6 years, as we mentioned, of eligibility granted by the NCAA due to a variety of injuries. The only other men's player at Cal to have had his number retired is KJ, Kevin Johnson.
Must be exemplary, not only to have the number, but the NCAA to understand the injuries and the difficulty. They're jamming it in.
Gonzalez in the lane. It's all Cal here in the second half. 6 points for Gonzalez in the second half.
They have found the answer on offense and defensively. It's been the quick hit by the Tigers.
Tigers come up empty from behind the arc here in the second half. 0 for 5 from three-point range. And an illegal screen called against Princeton.
Well, they found the home down low, and Gonzalez, who likes tight quarters, doesn't mind taking a hit, keeps on ticking. And then the counter at the other end, good aggressive D, some switching, better understanding of the Princeton offense.
And the second foul called on Earl. McGruder dribbled into traffic. Last touch by Johnson. Cal will play it in with 18 on the shot. They've outscored Princeton 13-2 here in the second half.
Now, you've done enough games. It's so hard for a fast team to make a slow team play quicker. That's what it looks like Cal has done because they've been pounding them inside. Now, boxing one on Duck with Johnson. See him trailing them all over. Everybody else zones up.
Gonzalez, a rare miss. Stewart stripped on the floor. He was double teamed by Llewellyn and Johnson wound up with the ball. Princeton needs a bucket. Down by 5.
Just check the shot clock here, Sean. See how if they're a little slower and more patient.
They have been much more patient. This looks like their offense we saw in the first half, and it pays off. Good call, Coach Raftery, as Mitch Henderson buries a 3. Duck down the lane. His pass got deflected and picked up by Goodrich.
And that's what the boxing one will do. You try and do it's a bad look here. Too long by Henderson.
Magruder picked it off. Magruder to the bucket. Magruder got it back and missed it. And Magruder, with his perseverance paying off, fouled by Goodrich. 2 fouls on Steve Goodrich.
All right, little bonus coverage there. California leading Princeton 36-34. Princeton with a big bucket there, Clark Kellogg, and it's an interesting game. Let's fill everybody up on what's coming up the rest of the day in first round action. In the East, Long Island and Villanova, that tips at 2:37. Valparaiso and Boston College, approximately 2:42. Don't hold us to these numbers. Rhode Island and Purdue, it's an 8-9 game, Clark, that you like, at 2:47. And Illinois State and Iowa State, an 11-6 game at 2:52. Now, for some of you out there, we're going to send you back to Cal-Princeton game. The rest of you, it's halftime. We'll be back with more Pennzoil at the half right after this.
Top-ranked Kansas leads Jackson State 47-34 at halftime. We'll return to the Pyramid in Memphis after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Genuine Chevrolet, Sega Saturn, Gillette Sensor Excel, and by Ernst & Young.
Well, the top team in the land leads by 13 at halftime over the 16 seeds from Jackson State, 47-34. Tim Ryan and Al McGuire here in Memphis at the Pyramid. And Al, you have to give credit to the number 16 seeds the way they started, but off the boards, it's kind of been all Kansas, and they just open it up in the final 10 minutes of the half.
And a lot of them are putbacks. What happened, the only thing that Jackson State might be quicker on the baseline. Outside of that, it's all the Jayhawks. What helped the Tigers was hitting 5 out of their first 6 3-pointers. Then they went in the drought for the last 7.
They did, and that's been a problem for them because they haven't done anything inside. Well, our Craig James is with us here. He had a chance to talk to Kansas coach Roy Williams a few minutes ago. Craig?
Midway through the first half, Jackson State it seemed to be with you. Did you make any adjustments?
Well, we got up a little bit closer to the shooters. They were getting too many open looks and made some three-pointers out there that we didn't expect them to make. So we've just got to do a better job fundamentally on the defensive end and get some box out so they don't get those second opportunities too.
Now, looking at the stats here, you can see Kansas shooting well at 48%. Jackson State not so well. And as we pointed out, they missed their last 7 from three-point range, and they need those to get themselves back in. Scott Pollard had 10 points to lead Kansas in the first half. And it'll be Jackson State ball to start the second here. They're in blue with red trim, Kansas in white.
What the Tigers need is what happened in the first half. They hit their first 3-pointer at the beginning of the game, so they need a confidence basket right now.
Pulliam, Hall, and it's Michael Hall. So they do the same thing as they did to open the game. 9 points for Michael Hall. They've got all their starters back on the floor now. Fairley Williams, Draper, Hall, and Pulliam. Starting lineup also in for Kansas.
Just fighting for inside position down low for France and Pollard. It's going to go up.
Turned around by LaFrance, and he got his own rebound and follows and hits the glass this time. Still Kansas controlling. Pierce with that rebound outside to Haas.
Just getting too many second and third shots.
Haas, the jumper won't go for him.
Too aggressive on Pierce that time.
That is the third personal on Paul Pierce, fouling Pulliam. 47-36.
Jayhawks come out solid man-to-man, trying to create play.
Pulliam had 8 points in the first half, as did Ricardo Draper to lead the Tigers of Jackson State. And Pulliam has not been a factor. He's their main man. He averages 13.6 a game. And they're going to call Jacques Vaughn. That's 3 on Vaughn.
Overplay, they trapped down. It looks like he just got his hand through the little two-man zone trap there and tried to flick it up. Anything for a basket. Broken play.
Broken play indeed. The alley-oop pass, nobody arriving for it except the Jayhawks. 9 turnovers now. This is Pierce off the front iron. Got his own rebound. And that one swatted away by Fairley. Jayhawks keep it alive, and that went in from Haas, but now they may call basket interference.
Good call. His hands were in. He went up with both hands and put them over the rim. He did not touch the ball, but he went into the zone where you're not allowed to put your hand while the ball's in the cylinder. Here's the shot.
Yeah, LaFrance,
see the ball's in the cylinder.
He didn't realize it was going to drop and couldn't pull himself back from it, so no basket. Turnover Kansas. 47-36 the score remains. This is Pulliam.
Trying not to give the Tigers any good looks from three-point land.
Pulliam, a junior from Prairie, Mississippi. Main man on this Tiger team. Tournament MVP in the Southwest Conference Tournament.
I'd get the ball around the Draper.
He lets it fly. Off the back iron it goes, and it's rebounded by Kansas, but the foul's going to be on Vaughn. That's 4. Jacques Vaughn, 2 quick fouls early in the second half. Roy Williams will get him out. Robertson comes in.
Now, Ryan Robinson has become a veteran because when Vaughn didn't play in the first 11 games, Ron was the starting point guard. They went undefeated while he was in the first 11 games.
Ryan Robertson from St. Charles, a sophomore, averaging 4.1 a game. Getting that experience with the injury to Jacques Vaughn. And the miss on that looping pass. Back comes Kansas, and they're off the mark with their attempt to LaFrance. Tigers hustle back. This is Pulliam. Pulliam's pass underneath, and a good job by Williams. Make it to Fairley. Fairley with the basket. 3 points for him. Robert Fairley.
It's like John Wooden said, be quick, but don't be in a hurry. It looks to me like Kansas being quick and also in a hurry.
Pass tipped out of bounds. LaFrance intended for Pollard. And the foul is on Pulliam. He's got 3.
Should get a putback right now in tight.
Kansas 0 for 5 from the field here. As you point out, they seem to be rushing things a little bit, trying to close this out. And that's short from LaFrance. 0 for 6 Kansas second half. Michael Hall outside. This is Draper. Pumps once.
Draper buried 2 from out there already in this game. I think he called 2 different plays. I don't know which one they're going to run.
Draper pulls up.
There's the play. That's the play. One-on-one. Blacktop. That means playground.
He called his own play. Paul Pierce. And Pierce trying to force it in. Kansas cold finally.
Yep. Pierce
Gets his own follow.
Eventually that height underneath will get maybe 8 or 10 putbacks in the second half will just break the back of the Tigers.
9-point Kansas lead. 9 points for Paul Pierce.
Okay. Yeah, he's calling his own play too now. Paul, clear out, let me go. The clock's down to 16.
Draper and Hall, the backcourt.
William got it. It's going up normally. Nope. Here's the guy that they can hit from outside.
Draper, but he misses. And again, the rebounding continues to be the strength of Kansas in this game. Robertson to Thomas.
Skip pass.
Here's missing from three-point range, but Pollard, and then he misses the jam. LaFrentz with a follow, and Pollard looked like he knocked it out of there. So Pollard and LaFrentz both struggling there underneath the basket.
They're hurrying too much. Just take your time, bend down, count 1,001 and go up.
15:42 to go. Kansas by 9. Kansas cold to start the second half. Their lead reduced to 9. And you can see they are 1 of 11 from the field. Jackson State 3 of 6 so far in this first half. 15:42 remaining.
1 of 11, but they were all chippies. At least 10 of them were putbacks.
LaFrentz in traffic. His jumper misses. Pollard unable to get a hand on it.
LaFrentz stepped out of bounds.
And it'll be Jackson State ball. Well, Roy Williams had quite a tongue lashing going over there on the Kansas bench the way they started here in the second half, having led 47-34 at the half. He's not happy with the way they've gotten off here in the second. Let's see if it can bring the Tigers alive. Tigers come in here with a 14-15 record on the season, starting the season at 2-10, but winning 9 of their last 10 games, including the tournament championship in the Southwest Conference. Outgunned and overmanned by Kansas, but making a fight.
Chuck Vaughn's on the bench with 4 personal fouls.
Robertson zings it over to Pollard. He can't handle. Back comes Jackson State. This is Michael Hall.
That's what I was talking about, that quickness on the baseline and backcourt. The Tigers have a little more quickness than Kansas State against Kansas.
Hall particularly quick. He's a real water bug out there. There he is at work again. Kicks it back outside. Williams, one dribble. He's short. Tigers battle for the ball, and it's Pollard trying to keep it alive. LaFrentz.
Great hustle by Pollard. Definitely a step in by Hall. People are booing, but it was definitely a step in.
Second personal on Hall. Andy Stoglin didn't like the call.
But you take a guy 5'8", you step into a guy 6'11", they're going to call it, and the fans aren't going to like it. Watch this hustle play by Pollard. Absolutely saves the possession.
And alertly flipping the ball high, knowing that LaFrentz had the better shot at the high ball. And it paid off. 2 experienced seniors who worked together for so long. LaFrentz, pardon me, a junior. A shot by Pierce. And it's LaFrentz.
What Roy Williams was kind of tongue-lashing about is stop bringing the ball down. Keep the ball over your head. And LaFrentz that time did, and also Pollard. And be more patient. One of the problems that's happened to the Jayhawks now that they're kicking it in too much so they can, the Tigers are drifting their old 5 men back on the post.
LaFrentz with 14 points so far in the game. 2 Jayhawks waiting to come in. Draper down to the baseline. Harton missing, and nope. This will be another foul on Hall.
That's on Hall again. That one is a little questionable. The other one, he obviously stepped in.
Third personal on the point guard Hall.
They're kind of fly swatting each one. All leather that time. Try to put up another one. I think that Pollard gets a piece of this one. No, Pierce does. Here's the hustle for the ball. Close call.
Fairley goes out for Jackson State. In comes Terry Bradley, number 32. Well, upcoming here on CBS today, Long Island and Villanova. Valparaiso, Boston College. From Memphis, Rhode Island, Purdue, and then Illinois State and Iowa State. Hugh over to Robertson. Jarrett Haas.
They're not even thinking of shooting from the outside. They're just hammering it down low every time down. That's the first time Kansas has come out of a scramble with the ball.
Ball goes out of bounds off the hands of the Tigers, Fidel Woods.
Clock's ticking away. We're down to 13 minutes and some change.
Robertson, Thomas, LaFrance, Pugh. The lineup for Kansas out there, and foul called. Near the conclusion of every NCAA tournament game, we'll select a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each team. And today, Chevrolet contributed almost $6.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. LaFrance picking up his second personal, 51-40.
Trent got a quick release that time, so Pulliam is back in stride. He was in a drought early in the first half, also in a drought early in the second half.
Trent Pulliam, the junior, has 11 points. Pass checked closely by McKinney. Good feed to Pugh. He misses. LaFrance battling for the rebound. Foul is going to be against Woods of Jackson State.
They're just playing over the heads of the Tigers on the offensive board. They're just getting too many putbacks, and it should start showing more these last 11, 12 minutes of the game.
In the corner is Ryan Robertson.
I think now and then the Jayhawks got to take a shot from outside to keep the defense honest.
Pass won't go for him. LaFrance tips it in. Rafe LaFrance, 16 points. Kansas 4 of 21 from the field this half. Lots of them, as Al's pointed out, have been those little shots around the basket. Follows and tips that are misses, turned into misses. Driving is Pulliam.
You can see you cannot play that. You can't play Trent man-to-man. There's no possible way. Isolate the side, and he's going to take you.
13 points for Pulliam. 3-point try by Thomas off the mark. And it is Kansas ball. But an 8-point game. Jackson hanging in. 11:19 to go. Kansas on top 53-45. Kansas cold in the second half from the field. Their lead of 13 at the half reduced to 8 right now. But on the boards, they have dominated 47-15. And you can see Pollard has been a factor in all categories of the game.
Here's Pulliam's last play. A nice crossover dribble there like Hardaway. He's very silky. One-on-one, he's really unstoppable.
It is Kansas ball, 11:19 to go. An 8-point margin over the 16th seeds. And Paul Pierce pushes it back to a 10-point margin. 11 points for him. Michael Hall. Robert Fairley back in the lineup. Along with Tyrone Moulton for Jackson State. And a collision underneath is the big man Pollard.
Good play that time.
Two players.
Excuse me, Tim. It was good play that time by Ryan Robinson. He came over from the weak side, which created the charge.
And Fairley gets his third personal for Jackson State. Pulliam and Michael Hall, the backcourt for Jackson State. Pierce turnaround jumper, yes. 2 field goals in a row for Pierce. 13 points. Fairley underneath Pollard, and Pollard blocks it. Kansas takes over. Pierce trying to drive on Moulton. Out for Robertson. His pull-up is good.
Nice pull-up from about 13 feet out. This is a breakout point. You got a 14-point lead.
9 points for Robertson.
Good timeout call, 20 seconds.
Jackson State takes time with 10-11 to go. They had the lead reduced to 8. Now it's 14. Down in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the other region of the Southeast, Illinois, USC, Georgia, Chattanooga. And then tonight, tomorrow night, Marquette, Providence will start out their night schedule tomorrow. That's all tomorrow here on CBS in the Southeast region from Charlotte. Pollard with 10 points, 12 rebounds, 5 blocks. We mentioned what a factor he has been for Kansas in holding them together in a ragged start to the second half, but suddenly Paul Pierce put a couple of baskets together, and they have a 14-point margin again.
Again, Jock Horn's not in. He has 4 personal fouls. He's only fouled out twice in his college career.
Pulliam. Pass intercepted by Haas. Behind the back, dribble, Pierce, and Haas.
Nice 2-on-1 break. Don't let the defensive man get set. Good ball movement.
7 points for Jared Haas. 61-45, Kansas. Fairley, he misses.
Only 1 shot and out.
That's it. That's what's been killing them, Coach. They have just been able to dominate the boards, the Jayhawks.
Watch Haas here. He releases the ball to keep the defensive man off balance. Kicks it over. Defensive man reacts back. Nice kick back by Pierce. Automatic. Here's another angle. Same thing. Kick out. Nice behind the back move there. Kick is coming back to you.
Third personal on Moten of Jackson State. Williams in the lineup now for Kansas.
Biggest lead of the game, 16.
Pierce with a miss. Kansas keeps it alive. Pass for Pollard.
It's the right system. Now they're breaking out because when they do get it down to the post, they're not hurrying. They're taking their time.
12 points for Scott Pollard. 63-45. Jayhawks have settled down. They're on a 10-zip run right now.
We're going to keep you up to date on this game. Kansas leading Jackson State 63-45. But we've got a heck of a game going on in Winston-Salem, North Carolina right now. The Golden Bears of California lead Princeton 52-50 with 42 seconds on the clock. A timeout has been called in Winston-Salem. Let's go to Sean McDonough.
And with 42.8 seconds remaining, we welcome those of you just joining us to the Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Winston-Salem. Sean McDonough with Bill Raftery. Cal leads Princeton by 2.
And of all people, Tony Gonzalez, magnificent football player, showed a lot of courage. Turnaround jump shot, helping defensively. And a good-looking breakdown here as he becomes a threat. Good rotate. He couldn't do that back in November. Was struggling with that shot, but now, without Gray, he's got a lot of confidence.
10 points in the game for Gonzalez. And they turn it over. They tried to feed Goodrich. They were trying to set up a backdoor cut, it looked, with Goodrich about to pass off to the back door. And the set play didn't work. Cal intercepted.
Now that's the second one that they haven't converted. Goodrich fumbled one. They have the spin dribble, the flash of the postman, and they were not ready for it. You can see Bill Carmody signaling give the foul. He wants to get himself into that situation, yeah.
And they foul Gonzalez. Llewellys with 2 consecutive fouls, his first 2 in the game. And that puts Princeton over the limit, the 7th team foul, and a good choice as Gonzalez shoots just 62% from the line and is 0 for 2 from the line today. Cal not yet over the limit with only 5 team fouls. Princeton with 1 full timeout left, and that's it. The arrow favors the Tigers. 1-1 for Gonzalez.
The game of sport, huh? The ability to step on the line at a critical juncture, the 2, and then the free throw.
One out of 2. Rebound Johnson. Princeton can tie it with a 3.
They don't need the three, though, Sean. They score quickly and get the foul.
Smart foul by McQueen because they're not over the limit, so Princeton will have to kill some more time. 16 fouls now. They had a foul to give. 2 fouls on McQueen. The winner of this game meets the winner of the game between Villanova and LIU later today.
So if they go inside and back out, they may get the three.
Time running out. All alone. Earl lays it in. It's a 1-point game. 15.6 remaining. Pressure applied, and the foul committed by Llewellys on Gonzalez, who is 1 of 4 at the free throw line today.
They denied everybody the pass, let Gonzalez get it, but using the clock, knowing they can give the foul, you're not looking for the three. They used the brush screen, and look at the great release by Earl. If he came down the floor, he wouldn't have been able to get the layup. But then they were ready to force it to the corner. Bill's guys prepared, giving an inferior free throw shooter the opportunity.
Gonzalez, the football American, now in the bright spotlight on the basketball court. 10 of his 12 points here in the second half. It's a 2-point game.
Pretty impressive, though, huh? This is not his sport. Able to knock that 1 of 2 earlier, and this big one.
Princeton, after so many near misses in the first round of the tournament, finally won a first-round game last year over UCLA. They're heading for another either exhilarating victory or excruciating defeat in this year's first round. They're down by 3 with 15 seconds remaining. And a timeout called by Princeton. It will be a full timeout, and we'll return for the final 15 seconds in a moment. California wanted to call a 20-second timeout, and then they took so long that it was changed to a full timeout. The officials thought they took too long to make that decision, so they charged them for both the 20 and the full. Cal now out of timeouts. Princeton has 1. Princeton down by 3. The question, Bill, is if you are Cal, do you foul and not let them shoot a 3?
I would foul because you got great rebounding. If they make the first and miss the second, you got good, big, wide bodies that can go up. I wouldn't give them a chance. Princeton likes to dribble, flip the ball back, or hit the post and kick.
Foul would be a 1-and-1 opportunity. Now Princeton gets it to half court and uses its last timeout. Both teams completely out of timeouts. A typical first-round game for Princeton in the NCAA tournament. We take you back 1 year to Indianapolis. First-round game against UCLA. Tie game. They run the back door. Goodrich to Llewellys. And Princeton wins after 4 heartbreaking first-round losses in a row. Now they need a 3 to tie and force overtime in the final second.
Cal doesn't want to foul too early. A couple of seconds go by, you don't give them a chance to score and then foul. They look like they're going to play straight up.
Timeout by Princeton got Earl into the game, a good 3-point shooter. They need a shot. Llewellys, last year's hero, has it blocked. Blocked by Grigsby, and California wins.
They decided, Sean, that they were going to let him try and beat him with the 3. A tough situation, particularly against a team like Princeton. But Grigsby, bad ankle. This will be re-aired by his mother, the anchor. The ability to look deep. Try to dribble, kick.
Llewellys dropped the handoff, which might have thrown the play slightly out of sync. Then Grigsby back for the 6th year, that rare 6th year of eligibility granted by the NCAA, and around to make a huge play. He goes back to Cal before Jason Kidd. That's how long he's been on the campus.
And that's why that uniform was retired, huh?
And that's how long it seemed those final 11+ seconds took for Ben Braun as he sweated out his first NCAA tournament victory as head coach at Cal. The Bears move on to the second round of the East region, and they'll await the winner of the next game of the day here in Winston-Salem between the 4-seed Villanova and the Blackbirds of Long Island University. The genuine Chevrolet players of the game are Mitch Henderson of Princeton with 15 points, 9 of them in the second half, and Tony Gonzalez with key points down the stretch. Tony at 5 rebounds as well. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. Final score 55-52 in favor of Cal. Here's Pat O'Brien.
All right, Sean, and so Cal improves to 3-1 without injured All-American Ed Gray. Its first round win in 4 years. Meantime, Princeton's 19-game win streak has been snapped. We're going to take you back to Kansas and Jackson State. They're in a timeout right now. We're going to take you back there after this. Hope you're enjoying the tournament here on CBS.
We're under the 4-minute mark here in Memphis, Tennessee at the Pyramid. Kansas up by 25, the top-ranked team in the country. Leading Jackson State's Tigers, Tim Ryan and Al McGuire here in Memphis. And after a close start through the first 10 minutes of the first half, the Tigers of Jackson State, who came in under 500 with a record of 14 wins, 15 defeats, having won 9 of their last 10, however, and the Southwest Conference Tournament, did a good job hanging in there, keeping it close. And that is Pulliam, now with 16 points. Their star, Trent Pulliam, a junior from Perry, Mississippi. But after that, it was all Kansas through the remainder of the first half. And then after shaky shooting to start the second, the board's domination that had been obvious right from the beginning just simply knocked Jackson State out of the box. So the #1 team playing like it. And they will await the winner of Purdue and Rhode Island. Our next game here this afternoon from the Pyramid in Memphis. #8 Purdue, #9 Rhode Island should be our best matchup of the day, as you might expect. And then this evening, Maryland and College of Charleston. Charleston 22 in a row they have won. And they'll be a real good matchup for the Terrapins of Maryland. Arizona and South Alabama will finish off the evening tonight here in Memphis. Jock Vaughn at the line. Had some time on the bench in some foul problems, but that loaded bench of Kansas and the great rebounding, Al, too much for Jackson State.
Just too much height down low. And the LaFrance had a great game, and I think the rebounds just buried them, 58-23. And obviously they're a much better club. They're probably a 35-point better club. And the average for Kansas each game is 83 points, and I think they'll get that this game. They're up to 75 now. Jock Vaughn surprisingly did not get a basket.
His only points from the free throw line. And he has 3 points, 75-52. Underneath, that's Bradley, pardon me, Terry Bradley, number 32, Jackson State, but Kansas comes away with it again.
What Kansas tried to do each time down during the game is to just kick it inside, punch it inside. When it was an 8-point spread, Roy Williams called a timeout, and that must have been the most severe verbal lashing I've ever noticed Roy Williams to give to his team. And right after that, they come out and just buried the Tigers of Jackson State.
Well, they came out cold shooting in the second half, the first few minutes of it, missing a lot of easy chances underneath. And after Williams got through with them, the lads pulled it together, and they have played like the #1 team they are. 2:37 to go here in Memphis. The top-ranked team, the first time Kansas has ever been #1 at the end of the regular season. All they want is an NCAA championship. Roy Williams yet to win one there, 9 years at Kansas. Last year knocked out during the Elite Eight by Syracuse.
No team in the NCAA with a losing record has won, with the exception of Bradley in 1955.
Pugh missing underneath, and the Tigers of Jackson State come away. This is Michael Hall. He and Pulliam, the backcourt starters.
And when Bradley did it, they won 2 games in a row, not only one. But they're the only ones with a losing record ever to win in the NCAA tournament.
This is Bradley with Pulliam. Pulliam launches and hits. Trent Pulliam averages 13-6 a game, and he's now got 19 today.
Earlier in the game, they wouldn't give Pulliam that much of a look. They were all over him.
75 to 55.
Will they hit their average of 83 points? I say yes. That's a hesitation.
Nick Bradford, a freshman from Fayetteville, Arkansas, in the game for Kansas. A player they think will be one of their future stars.
He was their only freshman recruit last year.
Pulliam launches another one. He didn't waste any time, and he hits that one. 22 points for Pulliam.
His arms will go before his legs, I guarantee you that.
He's been launching them like that through the game. He's got 6 from three-point range, but he's missed at least that many. Robertson picking out the ball for Kansas. Ryan Robertson over to Pugh. Billy Thomas fires it underneath.
That's a flagrant. That's a flagrant. It'll be 2 shots and ball out.
Pulled down. And that was Woods. Fidel Woods, number 55, a sophomore from Natchez, who got the hook on him.
Here's a kick down low. He has inside position. A little bit too violent of a foul. Good call by the officials. That means he goes and takes 2 shots now, and the Jayhawks get the ball out, and the possibility of reaching their average of 83 points a game.
75 to 58 it stands right now with 52.4 left. Well, our tournament summary shows Kentucky hoping to become the second team in 24 years to repeat as NCAA champions. And, of course, Dean Smith. He'll try to tie Adolph Rupp with 876 career wins tonight when North Carolina takes on Fairfield.
Well, Dean Smith is one of the best. There's no doubt about it. And you know, people try to find a chink in his armor. First, he didn't win the NCAA. Then he won 1. They never repeated. Then he won 2. He won everything. The Olympics, everything you can think of, Dean Smith has been to college basketball. But most of all, he's been a good example. His ball players, they seem to have a family. Even the Michael Jordans and the Worthies and the Perkins, they come back every summer. They gather around. So he is really today's John Wooden of yesterday.
Well, and he breeds some pretty good coaches, too, like that man right there. Just flashed by your picture, Roy Williams of Kansas, former assistant under Dean Smith. And now the bench empties from the Jayhawks with 52.4 to go in the game.
Well, one of the things, Tim, that's going to have to be considered somewhere down the line, who is going to take his place? Will Roy Williams ever leave the paradise that he's in at the present time? Would Ed Foger think of leaving the Gamecocks of South Carolina? Would they reach into the pros? I doubt that very much. Guthridge doesn't want the job. He obviously could have it, but he's been with Dean. He's a package for the last, I would say, 32, 33 years. Alley-oop!
And it's rebounded by Terry Nooner into the game for Kansas, along with C.B. McGrath, number 24, a junior from Topeka, Kansas, getting some tournament time here in this final minute. Upcoming games here on CBS. Long Island and Villanova, Valparaiso and Boston College in the West region. From the Southeast, Rhode Island, Purdue. That's right here. And that's a dandy we're looking forward to. Stay with us here on CBS.
And remember, if Charleston beats Maryland, it is not an upset.
Pulliam with 25 points. This is Nooner. Won't go for him. Back come the Tigers, and Pulliam launches another long ranger.
That's a trifecta in the last about 60 seconds. So he scored 9 points in 60 seconds. Come out by the washroom.
8 3-pointers for Trent Pulliam. And that drops for McGrath, and the final score. The top-ranked #1 seed, Kansas 78, Jackson State's Tigers 64. Andy Stogden, the coach, congratulating the winning coach, Roy Williams.